Okay, yes, omulungi atulaba nkwanirizaako yakategatako essaawa eno era nga nkugamba nti IBRAH Mukasa gemanya gange. We are so humble to be with Angella Katatumba. She's an activist, she's a musician, she's a businesswoman or an entrepreneur as well. I don't know whether she's a mother yet. I haven't been following your blog.
But now that's a great introduction. I was also looking around who you are giving that titi. Wow. Thank you.
I mentioned everything. Then when I reached on the other issue of being a mother, I was stuck, started stammering. Hopefully, you can tell the world. You belong to that world already?
Not yet. Not yet, munange.
Omulungi alaba nkwanirizaako IBRAH Mukasa gemanya gange. Once more tuli ne Angella Katatumba era nga interview eno egenda kubeera mu Luzungu n'Oluganda, most probably any other language.
Mainly Luzungu for me. Luganda for the audience. Maybe Runyankore if you want.
Hey, at what percentage?
For me, almost zero, but for the viewers.
So you can't chip in Runyankore for them?
No, I didn't grow up here, so I didn't get the opportunity to learn my local dialect. So unfortunately for me, it's mainly English.
Say hello to the world.
Hi world, thank you so much. I'm so excited to have you here at the Hotel Diplomat.
Ogamba otya?
Jendi.
Oli bulungi? Obulamu bugamba ki?
Bwe buli.
Why don't you learn Luganda?
Oh my God, that's like the golden question. Everybody asks me that. But the Katatumba Academy was English speaking. If you were caught speaking vernacular, you were suspended or expelled.
Okay.
Then from there, we moved to Canada when we were so little. Did high school in Canada. Then from there, we moved to England. Did university there. Then from there, I moved to US. From the US, I came back home. So there was honestly no opportunity for me to learn Luganda. And also at home, my family speaks English. So the only time I try is maybe with the employees, with the staff. We struggle. They speak Luganda and I'm trying to say something. So that's the time I try my hardest. And interviews. I try with my broken bogos, wichi, but I've not had the opportunity to learn it.
So for someone out there watching us, tujja kuba tukozesa Oluganda n'Oluzungu, naye she will be exempted, tali fluent mu Luganda. Kozesa nnyo Oluzungu olw'entambula ye oba travel profile ye. Okay, briefly, who is Angella Katatumba?
Angella Katatumba, my father was His Excellency Professor Boni Katatumba. My mom, Gertrude Katatumba, proprietor AFK Beauty Clinic. I have 7 brothers. One died unfortunately. And then I have an elder sister who lives in Atlanta, Georgia. I run Hotel Diplomat and my father's other properties with my brothers. Then I also do music, obviously. I also do philanthropy work. And that's and court cases, everything. That's me in a nutshell. Business, philanthropy, music. That's me in a nutshell.
Thank you so much. Of late, you've been trending so much in the news. What brought that, according to you?
I don't know. I should even ask you. Everywhere,
every blog, every newspaper, radio, TV, YouTube, everywhere, you're all over news. Did you plan for it?
Of course not. If I planned for it, I'd be doing it every day. No, I think just the circumstances. I don't know. There is a way. The media in Uganda don't let me get away with anything. And somehow I'm used to it because from childhood, my dad was such a big personality.
Yeah, of course.
He was extremely famous.
Yeah.
So I just grew up in that limelight under my dad, so I'm kind of used to it. Lately, it's gone to another level. You should tell me why.
You posted a long post concerning your separating with Daddy Andre.
Yeah.
It had a lot of issues you had a lot of issues circulating here and there, and if I may quote the post, there were many lines, but there are a few lines I will quote, of course.
Okay.
There is a quote whereby you said, you people, you and Daddy Andre fell out due to reasons.
Yeah.
A lot of reasons whereby you had to put them down, and the first reason was he didn't want to go for the HIV test. How true is it?
But before I got to writing that message, you know, when you are attached to a person and you're both public figures, unfortunately something happens to one party, which it happened to Andre, and as much as I tried to keep away from it, the media, not haunting, they were literally dragging me in it. Like there was no blog without me in it. And so unfortunately his scandal now was dragging me in it, and a lot of people were calling my mom, my brothers, my family, Angela, and I kept saying, you know what guys, but I'm not with him, you know. We separated in January, and he was, and they were like, but then you have to say something, because literally I was entangled in it. So I tried for some weeks to stay out of it, but clearly that wasn't the solution. So I had to come out and, you know, make it clear why we parted ways. So that's why the long post. And regarding the HIV, it's not just Andre. A lot of women will tell you that when they are dealing with their men or boyfriends, it is such a hassle, it is such a tug of war to get them to do HIV tests. There is a way guys are so worried about their past, their present, their future.
And their current.
Present. Good, you know. So a lot of guys are so scared when they really don't have to be, you know, and I think it's so important for women and men to know their statuses. So it's not just Andre, it is this is big in the gentleman department. Women will tell you that getting their men to take HIV tests is a tug of war, and then eventually they go and they're fine and they've been scared for nothing. So I meant it in that light. But then the rest of the message was just telling people that no, I left in January, and Andre and I are not together. That was basically what that was about.
Thank you so much. How many times did you request him to go for the test and he refused?
A number of times, but like I say with guys, that's the norm, you know. They'll just say to you, we're not ready, I'm not ready, I'm not ready, I'm not ready. And then you feel like, okay, this is now becoming a point where instead of butting heads and fighting about it, maybe I should just step back, you know. And I noticed a lot of people want to hold on so tight in relationships, you know. It's for, you know, you hold something so tight, before you know it, the rope cuts you, because you're holding so tight. So sometimes it's important to let the rope go, let everybody be composed, take time back from the relationship, and let everybody reconsider, instead of doing things by force and butting heads. Someone
would love to know, between the following two items, let me call them items, or issues, or points, between him being accused to molest artists, and you telling him to go for an HIV test, which made you opt out of the relationship? The issues with him and the ladies, I wasn't with him by then. You had left him.
Like that didn't concern me because I wasn't with him. For me, the only issue that was the issue in our relationship, is that he just wouldn't go for the test, like very many men do. So that, for me, that was my issue.
When did you meet him?
Late October, early November.
But the news circulated in around February, close to March, around there, February, that you people are in love. Then
no, in your post, December.
In your post, you posted showing the world that you quit the relationship in January. How did that happen?
In December is when the media, somehow it leaked. And the media got a hold of us and literally started stalking us, and then we had to be open and say, yes, we've been dating. That was December when it came out. And then in January, we had our issues, and I left in January. But because we have a project together, we have the Tony Labila song,
Yeah.
you know. And I think in life it's so important to separate emotions and business. So as much as emotionally the relationship was on a
Didn't work
standstill,
out.
didn't work out, I still had to promote my song. That's why now in February for Valentine's Day, I had to come out and promote the Tony Labila song, which is a love song. It's about a love story which happened between Andre and I, but I had to promote it.
So was it based on a real life story?
Yes.
Between you and him?
Yeah, it's Andre wrote the song, he produced the song. It was during the time when things were great between us.
Social media people used to attack you. You're going for cross-generational sex. How did you feel?
I find it funny.
Why?
Because the funny thing is nobody knows my age. People just keep assuming and assuming and calculating, but I've never said it to people. I never say my age. Ladies just never say their age. So it's funny.
So you're not in position to still tell the world your age?
Of course not. Women are not supposed to ever, you know. That's why, actually, not even women, even men are waking up. Presidents don't say their ages these days. They hide them.
That is to do with the politics, of course.
Football players don't say their ages. They'll lose $1 million contracts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Age, surprisingly, is not something that when you put out there is a good thing, because sometimes it puts you in a box. Yes, I'm a great footballer. I have a $20 million contract here, but because I'm 23, I'm not 18, I lose. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And people's abilities are different. So age usually is not something to advertise, and somehow the world is catching up. So people don't know my age, so I find it so interesting how they announce and assume. So, but being a public figure, I expect that, and I just laugh about it.
How did you feel when people were tagging you sugar mommy, sugar mommy?
I find that hilarious because I know I'm not. I find it hilarious because I know I'm not. Do you know what I'm saying?
So you want to mean Andre is older than you?
No, Andre, guys, do they say their ages? Do you know Andre's age?
I think he's in the mid 20s, around there.
Let me tell you, as long as somebody is above 18,
yeah,
both women and men, there is absolutely no problem with them being in a consensual relationship.
Did you adapt the Western culture? Because that is how the Western people do it. The way you're explaining
but
it.
Even in Uganda, you find very old men with very, very young women. Do you know what I'm saying? Which is okay as long as everybody is above
Happy.
18 and they're happy. That is not an issue. But as a public figure, you have to expect people to look at everything and make and try to make a big deal out of nothing. So for me, that's just funny.
Omulungi abulaba tuline Angela Katatumba tuwayamu wano ne wali here and there, of course. Tutunulira bi trending mu mawulire of late era nga agezaako kubanga tunyunyula wanne wali. Angela.
Yes.
Let me use Luganda for this question. I know you'll understand my question.
Okay.
Mama we yawulira atya nga awulidde nti oyagala Andre?
My mother got to meet Andre.
Hey, you took Andre to your mother?
No, he of course, when we were together, like for example, when he would come to pick me up at the airport or drop me off at the airport when I was traveling, I'd be with my mom. So they met, and she found him very respectful, a very wonderful boy. Like Andre is a very good guy, so she liked him as a person she met, but it wasn't like an introduction. It wasn't, but yeah, she liked him and she met him. Even my brothers met him.
So they were free with him?
Yeah, very free.
Did Andre take you to his parents or his siblings or brothers or sisters?
Yes, he did. Took me and I met them and I met the family and I went to the village. I met everyone.
But when you're explaining these things, it seems like the relationship was moving on very well.
Yeah, it was, to be honest. It was, but there are times in relationships you get to certain issues where both of you don't agree, and instead of, like I said, fighting and starting domestic violence and quarreling every day, step back. So women need to have the confidence to see a situation, just step back and say, you know what, if this man loves me like he says he does, or means that he says what he does, then he'll come back. If not, there will be others. Women need to have that confidence and that freedom of choice and say, you know what, let me step out. And for this reason, because this is a very big reason for us, and step aside. So that's what happened.
So you moved on, he moved on. Are you dating of late?
I am social distancing.
Before coronavirus, had you jumped into another relationship?
Coronavirus found me social distancing. No, I'm just social distancing.
Thank you. Tuline Angela Katatumba. Ali so funny, ali so interesting. Ate ali real. Ayogera ekintu nga bwe kiri. You know, abantu bali ba criticizing anti omukyalo oyo ayogera ebigambo teyefiirayo. Like you just speak your own mind, whether your statements are hurting people, you just speak the way you want.
No, I don't think that. I think a lot of people have a problem with somebody who's just being open.
Yeah.
And I think in the society in Uganda is very closed, and everybody wants everything to be a secret, and things that don't have to be a secret. There's a lot of cover up. But from the culture I grew up in, it's okay to be open. Like, there's really no crime in it. So I think it's now a different, maybe a culture clash, maybe you'd call it that. But it doesn't mean I'm trying to be hurtful.
Yeah.
No, I would never want to do that.
In the situation Andre was in of lately, were you how could you come out and post all that long post concerning your past with him?
Like I had said earlier,
like they were saying, like you were adding salt to the wound.
No, but if you notice, the only thing that a lot of people got thrown off on was the HIV part, which, like I said, very men are scared to go for their status for nothing. But the rest was complimenting. I'm like, you know, he was wonderful, he was this, he was this.
You spent almost 20 million.
To me, I said over 20 million.
Over 20 million.
Yeah. But he was generous. He's very caring and loving, Andre. So I just wanted to show the truth and say, look, it was wonderful, but because of this particular issue, that's where I stepped back.
So didn't you cause a financial loss to this young boy? Because I'm looking at the 20 million. I'm trying to equate Andre and the 20 million, honestly speaking.
Men have their deals. I wish you knew. You'd be surprised. You know, you can't judge a book by its cover. You know, even me, he kept surprising me. So, no, I mean, if he had it to spend, then he had it. And who says that he doesn't have it now? So,
doesn't he regret the time he spent with you and his money he spent on you?
Now that's where you need to ask him. Now there will have to ask him.
Because honestly, it's like business. Someone will be asking.
I know.
In return, what did I get?
In return, he got love.
Was he loved?
Yes. Yes, we did love each other, for sure. We did. So you mean that's what you men do? You invest and then
most of them,
you regret.
You know, it when you come out and say someone spent 20 million on me, it is like kind of business. So in return, someone just gets tears.
No, no, I don't think it was a loss.
I'm trying to imagine. I'm saying Andre made a loss.
No, Andre didn't make a loss. It was an investment.
You didn't cause a financial loss to the boy?
No. It was an investment.
Yeah. Do you hear from Andre of late?
When we are working together, like for the video?
No, just of late.
No, we don't communicate.
Why?
Yeah, when you leave, everybody's, you know, in their own corner. Everybody's thinking. Everybody's living their own lives.
In case Andre gets issues regarding money, can you bail him out?
Of course.
Because we don't know whether the money was got from a microfinance, whether he sold something. We don't know. So I'm just asking, can you bail him out in case he has financial issues?
Yes, why not?
Really?
Why not? If someone has been good to you, you have to be good to them. That's the truth.
In love, people give out gifts. What gifts did you give Andre during those times of love?
That's a very good question.
You know, someone must have something to remember. When someone looks at something, will say, "Oh, Bambi, Angela, yangulira yengatte, no, Angela did this." Yeah, like for you, for example, you're confident over 20 million into you. Then him. How about him?
He did. He did. Obviously, he did. Like when I went to Dubai shopping, got him some things. Like he did.
Lwaki abantu balowooza nti mu kusooka abantu bali balowooza nti Andre falls in love with Angela Katatumba, from one of the richest families in Uganda, nti balowooza Andre abala ssente za Angela Katatumba ate in return ate go wali ezize.
And honestly, that is also why I found it important to note that everybody thought it was the opposite.
Yeah.
And the reality on the ground, the truth was, it was the total opposite. Instead, it was Andre spending.
Oba yali ateekamu ngaloza in return ajja kulya. Because there is when we like you can put in money thinking you will get a lot of money in return.
I don't know. Then that was a loss if he did that. But I don't think so. I think it was just genuine. I think he was genuine, and I think both of us were genuine.
Thank you so much. Omulungi lwa tuli ne Angela Katatumba, muyimbi, activist, atenga business woman, atali muzadde, atanazaala, naye nga ate ne bya relationship of late tabirimu, ali ku social distancing eya byonna, social distancing eya love, social distancing eya relationship, among others. So Angela, let's cross over. Sometime back you appeared in news, you sued some restaurant that is Chicken Tonight.
Yeah.
How did it end?
The gentleman who hit me at Chicken Tonight was given. There's two cases with Chicken Tonight. There's the criminal case, and there's the civil case. Now the criminal case is the one that was concluded last year, and the gentleman who hit me was sentenced to 1.5 years in prison. Then there's the criminal case where I'm taking the Chicken Tonight management for the irresponsibility of their staff and all that to civil court. I'm taking them for 600 million. So that is the case that's about to start this year in civil
so you
division.
Want 600 million. Wow.
Why not?
How is Kuzi?
Kuzi's fine.
You hear from him?
No.
What went wrong?
Nothing. Kuzi, we just were doing music together. We happened to be in a situation together. And it was unfortunate. No, but we were not dating with Kuzi.
You were not dating?
No.
Okay.
We just happened to be in a situation, and unfortunately that went south. Then after that he went back and we just lost contact. But we keep in touch on Instagram or on social media, but that's it.
Thank you. Waliko mu mawulire era bbanga liyiseewo nga bagamba nti you forcefully forced yourself to become the consular of Pakistan into Uganda.
That was very funny also. First of all, you can't do that. In a government, there's no way you can force yourself in anything when it comes to dealing with the government.
Yeah.
My father was the only consul of Pakistan, and I was his appointed deputy. So for so many years, for over 10 years, I was his deputy. So of course, like any business or any office, when the head passes away or something happens, the deputy, even when he used to travel, I would assume his office.
You took over.
Yeah. So even when he passed, of course, I was to assume his office, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs knew me as the deputy. I had to get permission from them to continue on as deputy until Pakistan appointed a new consular.
Okay.
So I was in that position for 2 years, but unfortunately, a lot of people, like you just said, thought it was, oh my God, it's hereditary. Oh, she's forcing herself, and then the ambassador of Pakistan in Nairobi, who was the head of the mission, preferred a Muslim, and he was always fighting my dad. But because my dad was officially appointed by President Musharraf, there's nothing this gentleman could do. So when my dad passed, he now brought all his guns for me. But for 2 years, with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, we simply ignored him because that is not how they close an office. An ambassador can't close another ambassador's office. The word can only come from the president. Exactly, it can only come from the president. So for me, I just made one statement saying, until I hear from the president of Pakistan, I'm staying in this office, and with permission from the Minister of Foreign Affairs. While this gentleman was busy writing letters, she's illegal, for so many years. And then finally, when the president of Pakistan appointed somebody else, then I handed over the office.
So how did you feel leaving the office?
I love that question because I battled with that. I know my papa really wanted me to become a diplomat, to join the diplomatic world. But I did it and I loved it, but I felt maybe too young for it. I felt also almost suffocated because, I'm a diva. I want to, I'm a musician. I want to make up. I want brown hair today. I want blonde. I want red tomorrow, That's me. So, but here I had to tone it down. My mom would be like, don't put makeup. Don't do this. Don't do this. That hair is too loud, So I felt I was being restricted. So deep down, I wanted it for my dad. That's why for 2 years I was strong, regardless of the abuse and the attacks from my boss. I was strong, but deep down, when the president appointed someone else, I thanked God because I said, I've done my part and I did my best, but deep down I felt like that wasn't for me at that time.
Do you miss that office? Do you miss that kind of work?
Not really, because I enjoyed it more when my dad was the head and I was just the deputy, But with me at the head and, attending all these diplomatic functions, attending presidential functions, and everybody is so serious, and it wasn't entertaining for me. Wow. So I don't really miss it. Maybe the cocktails sometimes, but I don't really miss it.
How are you coping up with the lockdown?
I am coping very well, thank God. I'm getting time to do work. I'm getting time to rest. It's a perfect time to release my music because now I have time for interviews.
Yeah.
So somehow it's worked out very well for me. Yeah.
So how do you spend your day on a daily, Monday to Friday? Monday to Sunday, actually, because people are not moving out like they used to move out.
Now, like somebody said on the internet, every day is every day.
Every day is every day.
I found that too funny. You do, it's just, there's no pressure to rush to court at oh my God. And for me, it's been excellent because, I'm in court with Shumuk.
Yeah, over other building?
Yeah, over the building in Kampala, Diplomat, all these cases. We won, but he appealed. And he keeps opening different cases in different courts, hoping for a different answer. And I keep beating him all the time. But these last few days, it's been, Shumuk free, It's been a real breeze for me, catching up with my music. I just wake up, focus on music, and now that we dropped the Tony Labina video, now interviews, and I know this is going to go on for a few weeks. So yeah, I'm following up on my business, much as there's not much going on, but getting things organized so that when we do open, we open ahead.
Thank you. Omulungi alaba tulini Angella Katatumba tutunulira ensonga mpitirivu nnyo of course mawulire abadde nnyo mawulire of late era nga mugalaba wano ne wali so she's here to answer all the questions. She will leave no stone unturned, of course, at the end of the day. So just siziro kubanga tulaba nkugamba nti we always have celebrities ne tuwayamuko nabo wanne wali mubadde mungamba twetere ku Angella Katatumba tumubuze wano tuwayamuko naye wanne wali she's here naye nga unfortunately Uganda alugenda kitono nnyo bigambo ki byosinga okutegeera mu Luganda?
Luganda, I can hear more than I can speak, but the usual ones like Oliotia, Joli, some words I understand, but speaking is very difficult. Okay.
Oyimba mu lulimi ki?
Nyimba mu lulimi zonna. Why? Because recording is not like speaking. Like for example, Tony Labina, Andre gave me easy Luganda. We recorded line by line, sometimes word by word, and then they put with the producer.
Because you had ample time as lovers. You were not a client. Yeah, you had ample time.
I was, no, but even with other producers, when I do Luganda songs, I like Ngenzo Nono. It was written by Henry Tigan, and we recorded it at First Love Studio. I'll tell them my Simanyi Luganda, so give me easy Luganda.
Yeah.
Then they'll give me easy words, and then they'll record like word by word or line by line. Frankly speaking, that's the only way I can sing Luganda. Like if I can't communicate it, of course I can't sing it.
Actually, by the way, you are in position to answer this question. Someone was many people are choosing Andre for having a bed in the studio. How true is it?
All Andre's studios, all his houses in Kira, in Munyonyo, even before that, all of them are 2-bedroomed with a studio. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with somebody having a studio in the house. For example, me and my brothers, we have bars in the house, you know. So because I have a bar in the house, I go and drink all the alcohol every day.
No.
You know, so exactly. So there's no problem with someone having a studio in the house. It depends now on the person's self-control. Everything depends on how do you control yourself. How do you handle that? But otherwise, there's no problem having a studio near the bedrooms.
Did you see the bed yourself? Did you see it yourself, the bed they are choosing him to have?
There's no bed in the studio. The studio is in a house with 2 bedrooms. So there is the bedrooms, and then there is the bed.
Bed is on the other side of the house, or it is close, or adjacent, or opposite.
You guys, it is okay. Call it a 3-bedroomed house. 2 bedrooms and 1 bedroom is a studio.
Wow.
That is it. And then
So
the studio, there's a couch.
He crosses to rest.
Why not?
Like any
And
other
you know,
person,
he's
of course.
extremely passionate about music. First thing in the morning, Andre does straight to the studio. So, of course, it's important for somebody that passionate about music and somebody who does music every day to have your bedroom next to your studio. Why not? You know, like I said, the whole thing depends on your self-discipline. You know, if I have a bar in the house, do I go and drink all the alcohol? If I have a bed near the studio, I mean, you have to control yourself as a person. But for me, there's no problem with that.
Thank you so much. IBRAH K Mukasa Gemanya Gange Iranga Nkugamanti. Angela, you're releasing the video ye Tonera Vida. Give us a cappella of that song. Your lines. Then we can get his lines if you mastered them as well.
I don't know his, of course. I can say. I took 4 months to learn mine, my
Are
dear.
you sure? 4 months?
Because we wrote the song in November, but released it February.
You said when did you meet? In October?
Late October, early November.
That's when you met
That's
him.
when we did the song, yes. That's when I met him, then we did the song.
Okay.
Then we released the song in February, on Valentine's Day. And everybody is wondering, how can you release a song if you'd gone? Like that. I left in January, but we released the song in February, just like I've released the video in March. Okay, so that I think that answers that confusion.
Yeah.
And then...
You know, people don't understand. I think they're just like...
No, I think people are just quick to judge. And I wish that people on social media would always, if you don't know the story, if you don't know 2 sides of a story and you're not sure, refrain from attacking, refrain from commenting, because you're the one who ends up looking crazy.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You see something is there and you just comment without knowing. So that is it's odd. But I wish people would first take their time, understand the situation, if they need to comment. Otherwise, they don't need to comment.
Do you read all comments on your posts?
No, my goodness.
You don't?
Very
Do you
rarely.
reply comments on your posts?
Very rarely, but I also have my team, my management who go through my social media pages. So sometimes they reply people on my behalf. But for me, I never do.
Let's have a
Very
cappella
rarely.
of that song. We go.
Tolwayongo siba katai nanyiridde daninga mata yangu wonyweko kachai olye kusumbusa afadhali. That's my part.
That's all.
Then there's his part that comes in.
Okay.
I don't know his part.
Okay, let's have your other part again.
Then there is sorry. Then there is Manage wawe. It's very interesting. And you know now.
Angela.
Today will be the date My baby tewera bira. My baby don't forget. Jangu tonera bira. Today will be the date. My baby tewera bira. My baby don't forget. Jangu tonera bira. There you go.
Okay. Njagala tutunulire. Oyimbidde emyaka emeka? How long have you been into the industry?
Oh my God.
Active music.
Active, like commercial.
Commercial, professional music.
I would say 2009 there.
To date.
Yeah.
2009 to date.
Yeah.
Okay. When you equate the money you've so far injected into music and the time, do they equate on and the outcomes?
For me, in Uganda, music has not been where I butter my bread. I've always done music just as a hobby because I didn't find it financially okay. Like it wasn't bringing the money that I would expect or I'm used to. So I kind of just did it as a hobby. So I wouldn't say that the returns are worth it. They've not been. I pray that this year may be a difference. I could make a difference. Maybe if I put more effort.
So why would you still invest in a business which doesn't have good returns?
Because it's always been a hobby for me. It's my passion. For me, I love to sing. I was born to sing. So I love music. I love singing. And I just, when I feel like going to the studio, I go to the studio. If I want to take a break, I take a break. It's not a big deal if a song is a hit, if it's not. I just do my music at my own time.
When was your breakthrough? With what song?
Oh my God. I was just lucky because of my dad. Because my dad was extremely famous. When I started singing with Sicheta Gaudbebekuru.
Yeah.
I did that on holiday in 2005. And I did it and I went back to the States. And boom, that was the biggest hit. It was everywhere. But as you can see, I wasn't even around to enjoy the fruits of that.
Yeah.
And even when I was, it wasn't really a big deal, like financially. But that was, for me, so the day I entered the music industry, with I Live For You, Standing in the Rain, and Sicheta, those were my first songs. All of them were like everywhere. But because of my dad's influence and because of who he was.
If you stop singing today, do you think the music industry can miss you? Do you think fans can miss you out there?
I would hope so. I mean, I would hope so. You would wish that somebody would miss you in case you leave UBC. Yeah. You would wish.
I know.
I mean, I would wish, but to me, it's just not a big deal. To me, I think a bigger of a deal to me is running my father's businesses, handling all these properties. We have a 200-acre island on Banda, Kalangala, and the Katatumba Suites, getting that back. For me, that's the core of me. And then music is just more of a hobby. That's why I can afford to leave it for a few years and then come back when I want and disappear when I want.
Since you're running business, you're good. I know you're good at business.
Yes.
You're in position to answer this question. Why is it that whenever proprietors of certain businesses pass on, their businesses start staggering?
Yeah.
Why? What brings that?
Oh yeah, and it's unfortunate that so many big families, it happens to them. And the biggest reason is when the head, the father, is not open to the family, or doesn't think they are capable, or doesn't train them.
Okay.
So that when the head moves away, then of course everything crumbles, because nobody knows what to do, nobody knows who to contact. You have loans where, we don't know, But the secret with my dad was he trained us in everything. Everything. That's why the diplomatic community knew me and my brothers so well, because every time he had a cocktail or every time he had a diplomatic function, he always brought us along to train us. Running the businesses with me and my brothers, he showed us everything. He was very open with us. So in the event of his passing, and he had already put us in place over a decade earlier. So apart from missing him when he passed, we knew everything, and everything had already been, he had already said, Angela, be in charge of diplomat, be in charge of the island, be in charge of the court cases, Rujurwa be here, Dennis be here, Jake and Ian, every brother was where they were supposed to be. So that's what saved us, because he was open, he trained us, and he believed in us.
That's good.
Yeah, so that always ensures the continuation of a man's legacy. But if you want to hide and then guess what? The results will show, unfortunately.
Yeah. Getting back to music, what has been your biggest challenge in the music industry?
The biggest challenge.
You don't have any?
Maybe the fact that I mainly focus on English because the Luganda.
Yeah.
I don't know Luganda, and everybody wants Luganda, and I don't know it. And then I focus more on English because that's my upbringing. That's what I'm comfortable with. That's what I know. So that has been my biggest challenge. The language, the language barrier, yeah.
Thank you. What are those few or many or much achievements you've achieved in the music industry?
So much. Oh my God, a lot. With my Let's Go Green, when I started doing philanthropy, that's really when I started receiving the benefits of music. When I started doing charity work with For You Gulu, and you have the king of Acholi, the David Onena Chana II. You have him inviting you to Gulu, and he has invited 10,000 people just to come and see this girl who sang for you people.
The girl from Kampala.
You know, it was overwhelming. Then you have CNN, Al Jazeera, all these Dushvela TV flying in just to see Angella Katatumba, who sang about Gulu.
Yeah.
Then another big achievement was when in President Museveni's 4th term, I was the only artist who made history to be the one to sing with the Prisons Band, the Army Band, and the Prisons, Army, and Police Band.
Okay.
To sing the national anthem. It was such an honor, just because of the success of my Let's Go Green.
Yeah.
The Prime Minister's office called and they're like, oh, for the president, we want you to be the one to perform. Amazing. Then being awarded by the Prime Minister's office and the President's office, I mean, recognizing me, the achievements are a lot. Being flown to Mexico for the Climate Change Summit, you have the British Council appointing you the Climate Change Ambassador. So all these have been massive fruits of my music, and me especially directing my music for charity. That's when I saw the benefits of music.
Okay, yes, tuli ne Angella Katatumba airanga tuli kumpi winding up our interview. Naenga, we shall have just a few questions to wind up our interview. This time round we had an English guest who is not good at Luganda, so for our viewer out there who always loves Luganda so much, so sorry, so unfortunate, but oluzungu lwakoseza lubadde so simple. Hopefully olutegedde wanewali. Okay, how many men stalk you on a daily?
Too many. My Instagram, my social media, the guys running my pages are the ones who tell the story. Because they are the ones who see the craziness. Not less than 10 proposals a day. It's madness.
On a daily 10 proposals.
It is madness.
So that is around 70
it
weekly.
Is madness.
Then monthly.
It's madness.
So what is so interesting about you that makes men come to you always like that?
I should ask you. I should ask the guys.
Do they love your height? They love you being bold?
I don't know. But you know men.
Yeah.
Men will be men.
Or they stalk you because of the businesses you're running?
Those are all the questions I also ask. I also ask myself that. And with me, when I'm choosing or allowing a guy, I have to consider, is it because of this? Is it, I wonder. I'm not sure, but eventually when you give things time, the truth comes out.
What type of men stalk you?
All kinds. You have boys in high school.
Are you sure?
Anybody on social media
boys
now.
Boys from high school.
Your high school boys, you have old men, you have it's just everything. The rich, the poor, everybody is on social media now. So
who do you go for? Someone from high school, rich, poor, corporate, businessman?
I think when it comes to men, I always take my time. And I love the fact that I have the freedom and I have the independence. I've created that because I believe as a woman I have to work, and I love to work hard so that I don't have to be forced into a situation of just allowing anyone for security because, you know, you need a foundation, you need a man. No. So I take the time and I watch and I see, you know, and I always receive applications. And I go through them.
So when do you consider people? When do you consider the successful ones amongst the applications you've gone through?
When do I consider?
Yeah.
You know, the funny thing is when it comes to love, you can't plan it. You know, sometimes one person gets your attention and then you're curious and you're like, okay, what are you saying?
So, how did Daddy Andre apply to you? Via Instagram, Twitter, Facebook?
My manager, Ocean, took me to, I told you, he kept insisting for 2 months for me to work with Andre.
Yeah.
So he finally took me to him and we met. So with him, we just met at the studio.
So, if at first it was having a collabo?
That's how we met. When he was going to...
So from a collabo to a relationship, now to enemies.
No, I don't know if it's enemies.
Because you don't hear from each other.
I wouldn't say enemies, but even with all my exes, we don't become enemies. We just agree to disagree. It shouldn't be the end of the world.
How many exes do you have? It is normal, by the way. Someone out there watching us, it is normal. People have 2, 3, 4. It is normal, provided. So how many do you have?
That's between me and them.
What if one of them comes out and say we are 10?
I will let them come and say, but
will you refute it?
They know themselves.
Yeah. Okay. When did you people go for a date with Andre?
About 2 weeks after meeting each other and working.
Hey, after 2 weeks, you went for a date?
Around. Then he asked me for a date. Then we went.
Was it at our famous places, Cafe Javas?
No.
Or Acacia Mall?
No. I mean, I have my other places. He has his other places.
So who spotted the place to go to? Between you and him?
It was me.
So you spotted the place that we go to such a place. So there are places you have whereby they are convenient for you. No media, no art, no cameras.
Well, but these days you can't guarantee that because everybody has a smartphone. Anybody can do anything at any time. So if you're going for that kind of exclusivity, it might be very difficult.
Oh, you brought him here at Diplomat?
No. Actually, here he came at a much later date.
Okay, yes, tuline Angela Katatumba. Omanyi bana abantu tubaleta ne bogera ebintu byabwe instead of people okubanga mogera muwairiza concocting stories here and there. It's the reason as why we look for them and they have to speak for themselves instead of people feeding words into their mouth. Okay, lastly, before we wind up, you've been talking about running your father's businesses here and there. So you mean you haven't started any business yourself? Or are you having any business you started yourself? Or do you run any business you initiated yourself?
The only business I run on my own is my music.
That is the only business you initiated?
Because that's my passion, and he's the one who even encouraged me. Him and my mom encouraged me. You know, you're good at singing. You've been winning all the talent shows in Canada, in the US, in England. You come to Uganda. You've got all your degrees. Come do your music. And that's when I started the music, and making it commercial. I have 3.
What is your area of specialty?
I have an economics degree from Oxford Brookes University. I have a law degree from Oxford Brookes.
That's good.
From Oxford Brookes University, and I have a master's degree in international management, also from Oxford Brookes University.
Okay, thank you so much. That is Angela for you. Any last remarks to someone watching us out there?
I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me. And UBC, you are literally countrywide, so it's always an honor.
Well over. Yeah.
I thank the fans for supporting me, for listening to me, for giving me a chance, and I love you more.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you Angela Katatumba eranga tubale tuwayamuko naye wanne wali mumuwulidde. Thank you so much for watching us. Shout out to my guys on camera, Daniel Muga, big on self, Chiza Clement, Idris Rukwago, Antonio Sanaburia. Large upon yourself, everyone who has been watching across the whole world, wherever, anywhere, online and on our usual TVs at home. Thank you so much. IBRAH K. Mukasa is my name. See you next time. Love you all.